install. I'm sitting here in my car in the garage with the garage door open with the AC on because it's hot as hell outside. As you can see, or maybe not, in this garage currently it's 90 degrees, okay? But simply, the most important thing first is you want to get your camera mounted. Alright, so as you can see, we have our slip-on here, which goes onto the camera like so, and then you just slide the camera over like so, and voila, that's it. So it's made for a quick release from your vehicle. Alright, so you don't have to leave your camera in the car at all times, but as you can see, it snaps right in and out real easy, just like that. Okay, so what you want to do is just snap it on there and get a good feel for a good location where you want to put your camera. I want it to look clean as possible in here. When you're looking from the inside, I don't want you to see all kind of shit on my windshield. I already got a radar detector here. Alright, so I'm gonna get this thing as tight as I can up here. At the same time, I'm trying to I would like enough space where I can quick release my micro SD card. At the same time, I want it as tight as possible. Then I gotta be able to take advantage of the quick release feature like so. You know, you just slide it over. But at the same time, the quick release, you want to take into consideration that constant removing, installing. It's gonna put some wear on your adhesive, and it's probably gonna shorten the lifespan of it. But it does come with a secondary adhesive strip, so probably going to go about an inch below here. In that case, I can still get my thumb in there and pop that micro SD card out, worst case scenario, if I don't want to remove this thing. And so I'm going to go ahead and pop this off and go ahead and proceed with getting this thing into a proper location so that I can mount my camera. Alright, so I've already cleaned the surface. What you want to use is maybe some alcohol or something that's fast drying. It doesn't come with any alcohol, surprisingly, but use some alcohol, lint-free cloth if possible. Just wipe off the surface of the windshield real good. Try to get off any lint and oils or anything like such that's left on the windshield. There we go. Just had to get that initial break free. Alright. Now, it is imperative that you don't forget and install this on the wrong way. That could make for a very quick screw up. Okay. So remember, the camera's gonna slide on from right to left. Now once you apply this, there's no going back. Holding it from the outer edges like so. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place the top first. Make sure that it's level. As you can see, it's kind of beveled here. We're allowing you to kind of place it like that and lay it down so that you can make sure you make for a real straight application, which is why I'm also getting as close as I can to this here, as it is kind of being used as a point of reference for getting a straight line. So I'm just laying like this just so you guys can get a good visual of up here on what's going on. Alright, let's see. So right now I'm at this point of no return here. I got a tiny bit of it applied. Just gonna look at it, make sure everything looks good. I want to go ahead and apply it. You want to start at the center and rub it out from the center out, roll it out. And go the other way. Just roll it out. Alright, so let's go see how it looks on the outside, guys. Now that's just the adhesive without the camera mounted to it, but that's what you're gonna have going on right there. take the camera. Just gonna sit it right there. I'm gonna slide it over. It's locked in place now. As you can see, it appears to be nice and level. So you want to remove that there. And remember, you saw it on unboxing video, you will see that I purchased some filters. So I still got to install my filters onto the camera to make for a nice anti-glare free view. Well, to make for a glare free view, okay? I'm getting kind of tongue twisted here. But other than that, install is pretty much complete. Only thing left to do now is run the cabling, okay? Right down the center of the hood. Guys, the installation is coming along pretty doggone good. We got everything mounted up in here. So we got the cameras mounted, and I'm currently working on getting my wiring in place. First, this is the installation of the rear camera. As you can see, something you want to keep in mind is when you do the installation of the rear camera, you probably want to place it probably in the middle, just to avoid from, you know, that change in temperature during that time frame. You know, the grill's heating up to keep the window warm. Place it in a location away from that. It could prolong the life of the adhesive adhering to the camera. Okay, just something to think about. As you can see, my cover right there is already removed. It's not as simple as you might think it is, so I'm gonna show you what you gotta do to get that off. First of all, what you gotta do is just pull it down. You can use a hook, and you can grab the side and just pull it down, pry it down with a flat tip screwdriver. But it's got little clips in it that allow you to just pull it straight down. So it's gonna drop down, not far though, because the mirror is keeping it from dropping down. And you can't just slide it out because it's inside of a circle. But I'm gonna show you how to remove that horseshoe looking shape right here real quick. Okay? All right, so as you can see, we have this here. What you gotta do in order to remove it, I use my tool like this, but the one that's shaped like a hook. I used it, but you could probably use this or a little tiny flat tip screwdriver. What you're gonna have to do though is when you get it, when you have this, when this is sitting up there around the mirror, you have to pull down on one side, and you're gonna see this little tab right there. See that little tab right there? You're gonna see that little tab. What you're gonna have to do is press against it like so. And when you do that, as you can see, it locks in there, it snaps into place right there. Push it in. And push, and you'll be able to pull that little piece out. So make sure you push it in far enough so that it drops down. See? It drops down. Alright. So then you go over to the, it came out easy right there. But when it's in the vehicle, it's not gonna come out like that. It's gonna be a little harder. All right, so you're gonna have to switch sides. Go to the other side. Pry this side down a little bit so that you can have room to get a tube between the cloth headliner and here. You're gonna push that in. You're gonna push the other side in. And then you'll be able to pull this out like so. And it'll be out. So remember, it's got push-in tabs. And at that point, you'll be able to slide this out and kind of maneuver it out, because you got all of the modules and whatnot up there around the mirror, so be careful. All right, we're getting this thing wired up. All right, so I just showed you how to easily get this assembly down that's up here on the mirror. As you can see, we got that down. And the reason we got that down is because you want to be able to route your wire in a clean manner. And what we're going to do is we're going to run the wire across the headliner down the A-pillar here. And if you don't know, right here is where all the power is going to be supplied to the camera. We got our negative voltage, positive voltage, and we got our constant positive voltage. Or you can just say your switch positive and your constant. Your switch positive is the power supplied to the camera when the car is in run mode, and when you turn off the vehicle, you want that voltage to go away so that the camera system will be able to detect that it is in parking mode, for which it would then start recording using the constant voltage and the negative power. So here we go. First thing you want to do is get your panel off. You can use a flat tip screwdriver. Use a little rag or something. You don't want to damage your plastic in your car or anything on your dashboard. Just pry it out. It's going to pop right open. And then your cover is free right here. And it's not going to just come out. So next thing you want to do, so that you can easily remove this out the way, is just pull down your weather stripping right here. Not going to hurt anything. Just grab it from the inside. So you can just grab it right here where it's already kind of up. Pull on both sides at the same time. It'll come right down. Just bring that down. Bring it all the way down so that it'll drop so that you can get in and out still with no problem. Tuck it on the side of the seat here a little bit. And you got your free open access to get in and out the vehicle. You can pull this right on out. Just throw it up here on the console. Alright, so next thing you want to do is you want to pull this baby out here. This right here is one of your fuse panels. You got your ground over here, right here on the frame. You got your positive voltages here. You got everything you need right here. So you got two tabs right here. One here, one there. Pull on the tab. As you can see, that side loosen up a little bit. Pull on this side over here, and it comes right on out. See that? Got all your power right there. So next thing we want to do is access our voltages, determine where we're going to plug our terminals in at. Alright, so on the back here, we got a constant power source coming into the fuse panel. And you can verify that with your test light. Just plug your test light into one of these, apply it to one of these grounds here with a monster mouth gator clip. Then you just probe. Alright, so as you can see, we got us a good positive battery source right here. This big old fat wire. So this fat wire, it has a little panel that runs throughout this fuse terminal that has power applied to the positive side of the necessary power source that I guess need power at this time when the vehicle is off. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply a wire terminal on the back side here. And right here you have two open spaces. There's nothing there, but when you power on the switch, you got power there. Pay attention. See that? We got power there. As soon as the power, hit the switch, power there. Turn the switch off. No power. That's where you want your red wire plugged in at, right there. Because you want power off when you turn off the vehicle so that it can detect that you are in parking mode, okay? And for a ground, we're gonna use our ground source right there. As you can see, we got those bolts there. We'll easily be able to get a ground to one of those bolts on that metal surface, in which we will have power applied to our camera. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. You guys stay tuned. All right, guys. Camera's gonna be mounted here. We have this removed. You wanna run your power wire, the cable that's gonna be supplying the camera. You wanna run it through the headliner from over here, but we wanna get it wired up to this fuse panel box here, okay? So we don't want to put too much excess over here, just enough. We can hide everything else over here. So we'll start here. But of course, this is where the cable's going to come out at right here. So let's see. And we're going to tuck this excess away right here in the headliner. Just going to run it across here. Run this all the way across to the center where the mirror post is. Alright, so you want to take this cable here, kind of fold it like that right there. We're going to tuck it behind this pillar, A-pillar cover here. Now, thing you gotta do about this to get it loose is you're gonna have your little airbag plastic cap here. You just take your flat tip screwdriver and just pry around that baby. It pops right out, and that's gonna give you the room you need to pop this right on out. It's a little metal clip. You can just pry on the back up with a screwdriver and it'll free that top clip up. There's not a reason to free up the remainder clips. As you know, you just really need room up here at the top so that you can get your cable through here so that it'll still be hidden by the headliner. So got that up there. Now when you get up here on this edge, it's much easier to use this little hook right here to grab the headliner and just give it a little tug so that you can get that wire hitting across there all the way across. At that point, you don't even have to tug, you can just pull on the headliner right here a little bit and just push your wire through. So I'm gonna feed it through. I'm gonna feed it through behind the airbag because, you know, airbag is not gonna deploy because you're messing with it. There's a lot of things that gotta happen for it to deploy. So, all right, so now I see it. I'm gonna grab my hook here. Another great use for the hook. There we go. Let's see. Remember, you want the wire to go on top of your airbags. Just think about if they deploy. So get that through there. Hook and loop that wire. Pull that baby on in there, like so. See that? So we got a wire through. Now open it up some more so you can get that big plastic gadget across there. That's a filter of some sort. So we got our cable through there. At this point, our wire is nice and hidden. It's not exposed anywhere. All right, so at this point, we're just gonna feed our wire down through here. Now remember, you got excess wire, so we're gonna tuck all that in back here behind the dash. I'm go ahead and put some of this weather stripping back around, just so it can hold my wire in place, so you don't get aggravated with it dropping out. It's time to put our cover back on. We'll easily be able to snap it back here on the side, right here. As you can see, I just reapplied my weather stripping just to keep my wire tucked up so that it's not constantly dropping out while I'm trying to work. We're gonna put all this excess wire right here behind the dash. So no need to worry about that. Plenty of room back here for it. All right, so I noticed that a piece of my wire here is exposed. I'm gonna grab a piece of tape and go ahead and take care of that. You don't wanna create any hazards, any electrical hazards you wanna avoid. And a little piece of tape over exposed wire is not a time-consuming task. So go ahead and take care of the little things. Now you wanna get your wire terminals. What I have here is we're gonna be using flat clips, such like this. Like such. All right. Just gonna reconfirm that my power source is still nice and hot. Yes, it is. So we know we are good there. So we definitely got us a good parking mode power source. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and connect my terminals. Remember, yellow is accessory and red is constant. I might have said that wrong at a certain portion earlier in the video. But red goes to your constant power source and yellow goes to accessory, which is also known as your switched power source. I'm gonna crimp that baby in place. All right, so right there we have our constant 12-volt power source. Let's go ahead and crimp on our accessory voltage, which is gonna go into this portion here. And it's red, but it still identifies as power source. So it's all good. I'm gonna crimp it down. Like so. Make sure it's nice and tight. Hit it one more time. Nice and tight, nice and tight. All right, so we got our two positive sources crimped in place. Next thing you want to do is get your negative in place. All right, so we got all our terminals in place. I'm gonna go ahead and install this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place my constant 12-volt source on the back right here, as you can see. All right, so our constant 12-volt source, remember, is the red wire. You got a little plate right here that look like it has little openings for you to put terminals in there. That's exactly what we're going to use it for. We're going to place a terminal right here behind one of these little clips, and it's going to hold it in place nice and firm, so you don't have to worry about it going anywhere. Then you're going to take your yellow wire, which is your accessory voltage. And I'm noticing here this little piece of tape here I put is kind of peeling, so I'm going to do a more secure application of the tape. And I'm going to wrap it around it. Should do it right here. All right, I'm gonna put this on the front side. Now remember, we're done with the back at this point. You can actually go ahead and put this baby back in place. I'm going to tuck this little filter back there in the back. I don't need my test light anymore because I've already tested those voltages and I got everything I need. So I'm going to put that bottom in place, and then the top, push the wires back, and then it just snaps in place. Move your camera wire off to the side so it's not impeding the fuse holder. And as you can see, it snaps in there nice and clean. Push this little wire back here out of the way. Alright, so this yellow wire, which is our accessory, remember it's going to plug right here in the front. That's in place. You tuck the excess wire out of the way, like so. Alright, and last but not least, you want to connect your negative wire. So what I'm going to do with my negative wire is I'm going to back this bolt off just a tiny bit, just enough to get this flat head behind it, and then I'm going to tighten it back up, and we'll be done at that point with that. Alright, so what we have here is we have a We have a 13mm socket which we're going to use to back this boat off so that we can access our ground. Alright. Now this is where you have to be careful, guys, because you have metal close to your power source fuse box, so make sure you only loosening up that ground and backing it out and getting away from there. Alright, so at this point we're gonna, you can bend this tab forward just a tiny bit. You want to get it behind there. Alright, so as you can see, we have it in place. I'm going to back it up just a little bit more. Just make sure I can tuck it in there all the way. Looks like it's tucked in there as far as it's going to get. Excuse me. Tightening it up. I'm holding it a little bit so it doesn't walk, you know, has a tendency to walk, so at this point I'm just holding it just as much as I can before it starts walking itself around. Okay, at this point we have now successfully ran our power source for our camera. At this point you can go ahead and tuck everything away and put everything back in place the way you found it. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to pop this fuse panel out again, and I'm going to just tuck this negative wire behind it so to make for a much more cleaner install. And there you go. Everything is in place. So at this point we can go ahead and reapply our cover here. Pop it back in there. You're gonna have to pull this out. Bottom in there first, and everything else fall right into place. There you got it. So go ahead and reapply your weather stripping. Good to go. There we have successfully ran our power source for our camera install of the Thinkware dash camera. So I'm gonna do at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall my cover piece right here. I'm gonna get that cover back installed right there. So all it involves is simply placing the plastic cover back up there and reapplying the front piece that allowed you to slide it out. So stay tuned and watch it. Check it out. Alright, so like I said, this is easy. Same process. You're just gonna come up here from the back. Get close as possible here and route your power wire for your camera beneath the wires up here so that it's not causing any protrusion or anything like that. You want the install to be clean as possible. So there we go there. Got that over there. Now we're just looking to see where we're going to have the wire come out at to get to that camera. The camera's going to be here. So let's get this up here so that we can determine that. Right, like that. We just have it come right out the front. There should be plenty of room for it once it's popped in place. Alright, so everything's popped in place. We're going to sit the camera up here just to see how well we work out with slack, and it turns out everything is perfect. tuck some more wire, slide it back up.
Right there, as you guys can see, everything looks pretty doggone well placed. As you can see, I have the cable kind of bent down. That's because we got to apply our HDMI cable at this point, which is going to power the rear camera. So I turned it down a little bit. We're going to run it out of there up into the headliner. I'm going to drop that cover down one more time, run it the same way I ran the power wire into there, and I'm going to bring it out over here on this A-pillar. So stay tuned for that. Also, as you can see here, I've already began to prep this side for running the cable. It's easy. Only thing I got to do is pop that ABS cap off like we did on the other side there. The airbag warning tab goes right there. It holds a trim in a firm position. So by popping it off, it gives you some play room, wiggle room to route your wire through it the same way we did on the other side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this long USB-C type cord, or your standard USB, micro USB cord, and I'm gonna run this wire from here up to under the plastic across the headliner, tuck it and pull it through, and I'm gonna run it through here, pull it from here to the other side here. Pull down your weather stripping again, as I told you. Just grab it and pull it down. It's very simple. Alright, so I'm gonna run it, pull it through, run it up here, all the way across there. And I removed the ABS plastic piece right there. You pop that off. It's gonna give you some play room right here. Just run that wire up through this crease, tuck it in the headliner, and run it right on across to our rear camera, which is sitting right there. And be sure you position your rear camera in the right position. The Thinkware wording should be upright position on this hard piece, and the cable goes in from the passenger side, letting you know that it's in the right position. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out, guys, get this thing completed, and go from there.